Hey guys, I'm Holly Haven,
And I'm Andy Haven.
and we are the Haven home team. So really what we want to do, guys, this was really kind of fun. We have 13 months of data. We've been showing up every month and giving you guys the market update, but we have December of 2022 to December of 2023, and it's really tells a pretty interesting picture. So we kind of just want to cover this and show you guys the ups and downs of the market. Yes, this was like post-COVID, but 2023 early months were kind of crazy. And then we came to a little bit of a screeching halt in August as a general rule for all of North Texas. But these numbers were really interesting and the graphs are really interesting. So Andy, I'm gonna let you kick it off with Dallas. What did we see in Dallas this last year?
Yeah, so Dallas, December of 2022. This is crazy to me just looking at these numbers. So we were at an average list price of $502,849. This is the lowest it has been in the last 13 months. And I know that's going to shock people because the year of 2022 was a huge real estate boom. It was massive. It was crazy, but that is our lowest number this year. So, this year over the last 13 months. So, going from December, January, February, we continued to climb. We got up to 677,000 February of 2023. As we continued on, we got up to 748,000 in April of that same year. We then started to decline a little bit. We declined down all the way through August to 643,000, which was a pretty large decline. And then right after August, it went right back up to 733,000. Then we took a little bit of a decline. We're back down to 537,000 as of December numbers, January of this year for 2024. So we are seeing a big bell curve with a little dip, a little bell curve, and then we're back up again. So this is pretty crazy. The numbers are telling though. It shows that our market is picking back up. Although it is one of our lowest numbers, December. Again, we compare that to last December. It's a lull in the market. It's Christmas break. It's winter break. It's the new year. Everybody's busy. So these
Yeah.
numbers are crazy to look at though, and it just shows that we are back up on an incline.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me that December of last year to December of this year, we're up $35,000 average list price for those 2 months.
Yeah.
So, right, we're not looking at every single listing, we're not looking at every single sell, we're looking at kind of this big picture. But for all of those people that were like, oh my gosh, we're going to crash, guys, we're crashing after this thing, right? So we really thought 2023, we didn't know what it was going to bring. That number right there tells us probably not a crash. That's not what we're looking at. That's not what we're living through. We know it because we experience it every day, but the consumer who's just watching national news, it's really hard to see what's happening in the market. So it was interesting to me to see 1 year later that December price was up by 34,000 or 35,000. Which means we're holding strong. We're holding steady in the North Texas market. And we knew that, and we're about to see that just every city that we talk about. The
Well,
average price stayed as well, really. We stayed between 98 and 100% all year long in Dallas.
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. For a sales price to list price ratio, we had a gigantic bell curve, and it is the craziest thing to look at because last December we were at 98.6% sales price to list price ratio. Again, this December we are at 98.6%, and in between there you can see the exact same changes. It goes from 98.1 to 98.4, 99. Then we were steady at 100 for about 4 months. We then went back down 99, 99, 98, 98. Like it's the craziest thing to see because every single year it's the exact same thing. Although the price has changed, the sales price to list price ratio is the one thing that you can kind of look at to
Yeah.
see the exact curve of the year.
Yeah, what's the market doing? And list price to sales price definitely tells us that. So yeah, super interesting. These numbers don't lie. So I like the data. We can
Well,
tell
and
people all
the
day, every
one
day what the market's doing, and they will, not see it until they actually see the numbers.
Yeah, and the 100% sales price to list price ratios were April, May, June, July,
Yeah.
which we always say are the biggest months in our area. It could be different in other areas, but they're just always the booming months. So,
Yep, absolutely. So we took this into Frisco, and I find Frisco's numbers absolutely fascinating because December of 2022, we had an average list price of 798,000. That's a great number for Frisco. And we continued up pretty much all year long. It kind of, would fluctuate around that 800, 850 mark, all the way almost up to 900. So we kind of did this little thing, all the way across. And then we ended December 2023 at 901,000, over 900,000. So that is over 100,000 from the previous year. So to reiterate, right, this is our total market value is really what we're looking at. When we thought 2022 was crazy and we thought 2023 might be a bust and we did have a slowdown, we're already feeling this pick back up. And you and I started feeling this even a few weeks ago. Like almost as soon as Thanksgiving was over, our buyers started to get antsy to look at homes again or to get their home listed, right here into the new year. So we have a lot going on that we know because we have context. But when we look at these numbers, it's just so interesting to me that December was the highest list price average in Frisco for the last 13 months.
Yeah.
That was nuts to me. Absolutely crazy. And then that same sales to list price ratio, we started at 97.6. We ended this year at 98, and we did that exact same thing you mentioned with we kind of trickled up or stayed really steady. We hit 100% April, May, and June, and then we slowed back down a little bit. So it's all been very indicative across North Texas. That 900,000 list price for Frisco just blew my mind with it being the highest number and it being December.
Well, Prosper is just even crazier than Frisco. So in the month of December 2022, we were at 847,000 average list price. This December, we hit 978,000. So we went over $150,000 above our previous year's numbers. And in October, we hit over $1 million average list price.
Yep. It's
been
absolutely crazy. It is crazy. And we're seeing these numbers almost identical across each different city, even though we have completely different people, usually like the dynamic of the people looking for Dallas proper and looking for Prosper or Celina is generally a very different makeup of the family or the people that are buying the property. And it's just really interesting to me that we're still seeing the same basic trends across North Texas. So that's what I like about these numbers is it tells a story that keeps us all on the same page and it doesn't let the national news tell us, really doesn't dictate what's happening in North Texas because we've had still a really massive year in real estate in North Texas.
We actually never hit a 100% sales price to list price ratio. And something that we talk about a lot on here is that because we have a lot of new builds, this is something that is pretty normal to not hit 100%. Builders are offering incentives. They're listing it too high on the MLS and actually selling off market. So you never get to see that. They give you a seller concession to help buy down your rate, whatever it may be. That is the reason we don't see 100%. It was very consistent with other months, though. We do go from 97 to 99, 99, and then back down to 97, 96. So still the very same bell curve, but just interesting that we never hit 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're 100% right, because we're about to see the same thing when we talk about Celina, that new construction changes those sale price to list price ratios for sure. So speaking of Celina, we started December of 2022 at 685,000. We have December of 2023 over $731,000. So again, we are 50,000 above a year ago on that average list price. And kind of the same thing. We trickled up all year and then we kind of trickled back down. But 731 was one of our higher numbers for the year. We topped out in Celina at 809. 809,000 list price. And that was back in February. February of 2023.
Yeah.
So again, had those kind of similar fluctuations, but closed out the year 731. Those numbers are amazing. And we saw the same thing on the sales to list price ratio, never hitting 100% in Celina. We stuck around that 96 to 98.7-ish almost all year long. So really, really strong numbers all across North Texas. I think, gosh, if we look, I can't wait to see these January numbers. I truly think our January numbers are going to blow last year out of the water.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think we're going to be at a higher sales price to list price ratio because we have evened out just a little bit, but there's also more competition. I also think that looking forward right now is the buyer's time to buy right this second. Come March, April, May, it's going to be a seller's market 100%, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I'm like, do not sit and wait, because we have buyers right now that we could not get into homes during the height of COVID, right? We couldn't be competitive enough. We didn't have enough cash down or cash over. We didn't have, we just couldn't always win it. So we have buyers that have actually taken a 3-year hiatus on looking. We've put them in rentals. We've put them in a better position. Maybe we help them get their credit together, because there's some really great referrals for things like that. But now's the time, and they're starting to get off the fence. And some of those people that have been really, begging to buy, wanting to buy, this is their time. And right now is actually better. The next, I'm going to say January, February, March are absolute earlier rather than later. Because I think as we hit March, the more these interest rates start to continue to drop, I just think we're going to be competing like crazy, especially when we're talking under that 750 mark. We have a little bit less competition over 750 and into that million plus. However, we're still seeing multiple offers, and really have seen multiple offers on the best homes all throughout the year, even in some of the slower months. So, don't discount what a market's doing to tell you that, oh, I can wait a month and see if they'll drop the price. I'll see if they'll get negotiable. It's not likely to happen, right? We are going to run our comps. We are going to make sure that the value is in the property, but then, man, those buyers have got to jump in.
Yeah, and the only reason I would really see house prices drop, even a single house price drop, is that they're listed way too high. They don't have the necessary items to be competitive on the market, which would just be updates, general maintenance, stuff like that. Or it's not in a desirable neighborhood or city that people are really wanting to move to right now. And not to say that there are undesirable cities, but there's just places that people are not flocking to right this second. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of for prices to drop over the next couple of months. But the one thing that we're actually seeing a lot of, which if I were to buy right now, this is exactly what I would do. I would go find a new build home, a brand new home that's being built currently, that's probably going to be ready between March and July. I would contract on that house, and I would sell my house when I needed to. I would not sell it as soon as possible. I would hold on to that, because honestly, you're going to get the greatest deal on a new build right this second.
Yep.
And you're going to get the highest price for your house in April, May, June, July. So I don't see why that would be a bad decision. And all of our clients are doing it right now. We have 5 under contract that are new builds right now that are going to be selling over the next 5 months. So
Yep.
it's crazy, but that is honestly the number one tip I have right now for buyers and sellers. I guess you could be both.
Well, and the great thing is you have a lot of context on that. That's exactly what you did in 2023. You contracted early in the year in February. You got those early prices. The house wasn't ready till August. When you guys closed, what is your equity today? It is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath townhome in Celina ISD. What is your equity today? And you guys have owned the house 4 months?
Yeah, we've owned the house since we closed August 22nd, 25th.
Okay.
We have about 40 to 50,000 in equity, and that's continuing to climb.
Yeah.
That's current today equity, but again, it's a townhouse. It's 2,100 square feet, and it's 4-bed, 4-bath. So we are one of the larger townhouses, but to say that you have a townhouse with 40, 50, $60,000 in equity, which again, we do have a little bit more because we did get a seller buy down and some other additional
But
things.
that's exactly what we want to help recreate for these buyers that are sitting on the fence and they're not sure. It's exactly what you were able to take advantage of in 2023. And we can still help them take advantage of that rolling into 2024, but we've got to jump really early, because the builders know what's happening in this market, just like you and I do. There's not going to be price decreases. And if we have early sales in a new neighborhood, you're going to get the absolute best pricing, and you're going to move in with equity. And that's really the goal for our under 700, under 500,000 buyers for sure. So
Yeah,
lots of
and
great opportunities out there.
the other good thing to think about is if you are closing later in the year, the rates are expected to drop and not increase the entire year. So, I mean, the longer your house is being built, technically, the lower your interest rate is going to be. So it doesn't seem like it would necessarily hurt you at all. So
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, I am super excited. This was a really great kind of year in review. I think it was really eye-opening, and I can't wait to see what 2024 brings us. I think it's going to be another wild ride.
we are excited. If anybody's looking to buy, sell, or lease, we are always here to help you guys. I went through the experience very recently. So if y'all have any questions, or just wants more insight on the process, I can definitely help you answer that. She did a custom home build recently in the last 2 to 3 years. So if you have any questions about that process as well, we've personally gone through all the processes. So if y'all want to reach out to us, we have our phone number down below. You can call or text, send us an email. If you have any questions, we're always here for you guys.
Yeah, and like and subscribe and follow so that you get the updates. We do weekly videos with just good fun content about the area and also these market updates so that you know that we know what we're talking about. So yeah, guys, reach out and Happy New Year.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.